Hello, I'm Doug and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today on Fresh Cheeses number 4, we are looking at cottage cheese. So before we get into it, let me remind you to like the video, comment down below, leave a question down below, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell to get notified when new videos get released on Mondays and Thursdays. So the whole reason I'm into this cheese thing is because of a whiskey and cheese tasting I went to in May of 2019. And the cheese expert had written a book and she was selling it there, and I bought it and looked into it. And it organized cheese in a way that didn't tax my limited mind. It was a bewildering array of stuff that was hard to put together or understand or make sense of before, but after I read her book and her gateway cheeses, it made a lot more sense and thought I could get into it. So this cheese series right now is just on fresh cheeses, which are rindless, soft, high moisture, not very intense in flavor. They mostly taste like milk and cream. So that's what this first series is limited to. And I will leave a link to the book on Amazon down below. This is by Liz Thorpe, called The Cheese Book. And I'll leave a link to this down below and a couple of links to a couple of her videos. But fresh cheeses are all over the place in our foods. And we buy them and put them in things. And cottage cheese is not explicitly in her book. She doesn't list it as one of the fresh cheeses, but I recognize it now for what it is and put it in here because it is part of my childhood and growing up, and I still like it. So what I have here today is Borden small curd, full fat, 4% milk fat. So this is a national brand. And over here we have Whole Foods 365 organic cottage cheese, 4% milk fat, small curd. And just looking at the ingredients and looking at what's happening here, this liquid's not separating in the Borden because they put in guar gum and locust bean gum and carrageenan made from seaweed, so thickeners that keep the liquid from separating. Over here, I don't think Whole Foods puts those things in. They have look at this, locust bean gum, organic locust bean gum. They don't have the other things though. Milk, cream. Okay, some of those things are in here too. But anyway, I've tasted both. They're wonderful. That 4% milk fat is worth a lot. And then I've got a few tastings with fruit that I will do also. So we will just get into this. So cottage cheese is just milk and cream that is made to curdle somehow by acid or rennet from various sources. And then I think the liquid pretty much stays with it. So they might pull off some of the liquid as whey, watery liquid, but it just smells like milk or maybe nothing. And this particular one is salted a bit more than I probably would. So saltiness is one of the notes. And I love it. I would eat salt all day long. Potato chips, corn chips, anything would be in danger. And I like the saltiness of this, but it's probably over salted or unnecessarily salted. But there's a thick, rich mouthfeel. High fat, for sure. It's a very rich dairy taste. The little curds are somewhat crumbly and dry on the inside, but with all the liquid that's surrounding each one, there's no dryness anywhere. It's a very rich, creamy dairy taste, and this one, as I said, is probably over-salted for what it needs. You just want to enhance or perk up the dairy notes, and it probably doesn't need as much as is in here. So I would give this high marks for overall flavor. All the things are in there that you want in there. Okay, I'm going to move on to the Whole Foods kind. It smells like milk or next to nothing. Not a lot of aroma. And this seems a little bit drier inside the curds, but they're all surrounded with lots of moisture, so nothing is really dry overall in the mixture. Seems slightly less rich, slightly less fatty, slightly less dairy-like. But it's a good, rich dairy taste with the richness and fattiness dialed down just a little bit from this Borden brand. So I like those. They would both make a decent little part of a lunch where you have to have something on the go or something pretty quick. And I will move these packages aside and bring in some fruit combinations that I did. So with the Whole Foods cottage cheese, I brought in some pineapple. Pineapple on one side and some mango on the other. So I'm going to eat a little bit of this with some fresh pineapple I cut up. And see how the pairing is with different fruits. Ooh, the pineapple's pretty good with it. Pineapple has a sweetness and a tartness both. It goes well with the fat of the cottage cheese. And then the dairy notes play well with the fruit. Fruitiness of the pineapple and juice. That's good. I remember growing up, my mom eating cottage cheese with cantaloupe or pineapple or different kinds of fruit. But she never had fresh pineapple. So that is a good combination. I'm going to move over to the Borden and raspberries. I want some more intense flavor. So this is the Borden, which is very rich with the raspberries, which ought to be pretty intense. These are strongly flavored raspberries. Wow. Oh, the salt really stands out with this mixture. Something unappealing about all the salt and the fattiness with the raspberries. The flavor is good, but the saltiness is almost too much for the raspberries. The salt doesn't go with the raspberries. It's kind of a clash. So this cottage cheese, or a less salty cottage cheese, might work out. The fruitiness is good. It's very intense. I think it's only the saltiness that it's clashing with. Okay, well, while I'm on this bowl, I'll just stay here and do a pear. That's a lot less intense, but we'll see if the salt is a problem with this one or not. No, that's not much of a clash. It's a juicy pear. It's bright, it's acidic and fruity, and it's going well with the fat and the salt. So that's not a problem at all. Oop. Edit. Let's move that out of the way and come back to the last one. Where it's the Whole Foods cottage cheese with some mango. And this is fresh mango I just sliced. So the mango is fruity and juicy, and it's a so-so combination with the cottage cheese. And the fattiness and the dairy The rich mouthfeel is somewhat of a clash with the mango. But the fruitiness of it and the fruit juice and the dairy, notes go along pretty well together. It's more of a texture thing, a fatty cheese and a bright, fresh mango. It's not quite what I was expecting. So some people would like it, some people would leave it behind. So I'm sort of on the fence about that one. So that is cottage cheese, which is available in about every grocery store in the United States. It has a dairy section and gets milk from some. So as I said before, it's not really in Liz's book. I wanted to do it, so I did. So look for the links down below for Liz's book and videos. And stay tuned for the next cheese review. And that's all for now.